Fred's Western was sort of a takeoff on Shane, written by Eugene Levy, called Sodbusters.
Yes.
And Kris Kristofferson had the Alan Ladd role.
Yes.
And you were Van Heflin.
Yes, yes. And working with Kris Kristofferson, well, to begin with, I'm not a horse person. They took us all out to ride horses one day just to get accustomed to the horse. When I first came out to Hollywood, I decided that I would go and take riding lessons. I don't know if the place is still there, and some old guy would give riding lessons. First thing he told us one night, he says, "A horse is an extremely dumb animal. It'll jump right off a cliff. If it sees a snake, it might go right off a cliff." So this didn't calm my nerves any when I had to get on the horse. So, but I figured like an actor, I had to know how to ride.
No.
Everything but take dueling lessons. I think it was past the time when they dueled in film.
No, as an actor, all you have to do is say you know how to ride.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, they never asked me that. They just said, "You're going to ride in this one." I was also amazed at how high up it is when you get on a horse.
Especially if you fall down.
Yeah. Luckily, I never felt. But Kris Kristofferson, when he got on the horse, and his spur caught in the stirrup, and I thought it was going to kick him off. And oh my God, if this happens to Kris Kristofferson, what's going to happen to me? It didn't faze him though. It didn't faze him. And then one night I had to drive the horse down to the cabin and stop and get off. And Eugene came over and he said, "Cut." He says, "Fred, I want you to stop the horse over here." I said, "Don't tell me, tell the horse." The horse was completely in charge. I was afraid of the horse. I wanted to treat it very gently, and I found out you can't. You have to let it know who's the boss. But in the script, it said that there was we were supposed to have a fight, me and Kris Kristofferson. Then he was going to run away, and I was going to jump on a horse and chase him. And it was a night shoot. And I said, "Well, they must know what they're doing." But Kris Kristofferson said, "Oh, I don't like that, galloping at night." And I just realized, I guess it's a horse could stumble. And I said, if Kris Kristofferson is afraid, I'm afraid too. But I think they either cut it out of the movie or use stuntmen for it. But we did, the fight that proceeded, we did have a fight late at night. And, it's choreographed, and he had to be knocked down and twist. And we did it about 3 times. Then it was about 3 o'clock in the morning, and he had his own driver to drive him back into downtown Toronto. And he'd always pull up to my dressing room and say, "Fred, you want to ride?" I said, "Well, sure." And I'd say, I get in the car, I said, "Now, do you want to talk or just be quiet?" "Well, a little bit of both, So this night, it took about 45 minutes driving in. We got out of the car, and he says, "I think I broke my toe." I said, "What?" He hadn't said a word about it. And the next day, he came in, I said, "How's your toe?" He said, "Yeah, it's broke." He said, I said, "My God, I would have spent the night in the hospital. I would have demanded to go to an emergency room." But he was a terrific guy. Not too outgoing, but very quiet. And
Not much of a talker.
Not much of a talker.
Did he sing?
Not in the movie. He didn't. No, didn't. But they tell the story about, I wasn't with them, but that night, one night in Toronto, they went out to a club and they came back and there was a guy sitting on the street playing, and he was the guy on the street was playing "Help Me Make It Through the Night," and didn't know that it was Kris Kristofferson. The people finally, when he's done, said, "Look where you're singing to," and he looked at him, "Oh my God."